Hello again and welcome to More Business. It's been some 11 days since the Communication Ministry ordered the country's telecom companies to stop the upfront reduction of the communications service tax. The telcos, following a review of the tax from 6% to 9%, had decided to no longer absorb the tax as they had done previously, but pass on the entire amount to their subscribers. The minister at a news conference, however, said rather than the upfront deduction, the telcos should deduct the tax as their subscribers consumed the service. We bring you details of this particular story in the course of the bulletin. Now, Ghana and other African countries have been urged to take steps to mitigate the impact of projected economic slowdown on the economies. Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, gave the advice at a press conference to wrap up the IMF World Bank annual meetings in Washington, D.C. George Rafi has more on this and other developments in the following report.
All too soon, we have to draw the curtain down on the annual IMF World Bank meeting in Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. It could be described as an interesting one because of their warnings about the global economy slowing down. Why? Well, it's because of the trade war between the U.S. and China and how that is affecting developing economies around the world. For instance, in Ghana, the IMF is forecasting growth would end the year at 7.5%. Why? Because demand for our raw commodities and oil will be affected because of developments in these developed economies. And that is why they believe that we should all be concerned because of the current trade war that is going on between the US and China. Now, despite these concerns, the IMF Managing Director was still optimistic about things looking out good for the region.
As we are all aware, there has been a progress in discussions between China and US, and actually that was a topic that both countries very openly commented on and commented on in a very positive manner. The issue is not just the tariffs. The issue is, do we have predictability for trade in the future? We know that this year trade slowed down to 1.2%. This is almost standing still.
The IMF Managing Director was also optimistic that the free trade agreement that the continents have signed up could also be a game changer for the region. Well, for Ghana, the concern is that our revenue is not doing well and expenditure is rising. And if government doesn't take tough measures to deal with them, it could have some serious impact for the economy. Let's hear from Kathy Patilo. She's the Deputy Director at the Fiscal Department of the IMF.
Balanced approach that is looking for some expenditure measures and some revenue measures, I think, is the what's needed. So, and in particular, the IMF team then has identified in very detailed discussions with the government feasible types of measures then of at least 1 percentage point per year from 2020 to 2024 that could help again anchor debt on a downward path.
She also talked about the fact that government should use the 2020 budget to demonstrate its commitment to fiscal discipline.
There are particular measures that are being identified, and I think it's about also making sure that spending is efficient and really achieves the objectives that you want, and also to make sure that it's all on budget. So that was the other point about making sure that the financing is transparent. So all spending then should be on the budget.
But the first Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afari, believes there are some shortcomings in these rankings that the author should take a second look at, because he believes that what they used this year was not based on current numbers, but rather that of 2018.
The biggest pillar, the pillar that we came down significantly, was access to foreign exchange. I think that the assessment is not comprehensively done. What we are actually looking at is excluding the central bank participation from the foreign exchange market and looking at purely the commercial banks. and that is where the access to foreign exchange Ghana is coming down, because the Bank of Ghana actually receives all the cocoa inflows, and so for receiving the cocoa inflows, we are a bigger player on the market. And if you take that out of the system, then you are giving the impression that foreign exchange is limited on the interbank market, but there is also access from the central bank that is supplied to the interbank market because of the cocoa process.
He was, however, optimistic that come 2020, Ghana is going to make a strong showing. But is Ghana on track with respect to its economic policies and programs a few months after exiting the fund program? Let's hear from Abebe Selassie. He is the director of the African department.
The team released an assessment of its findings. I think clearly, I think, we look forward to the implementation of the President's very important initiative, this Africa Beyond Aid, Ghana Beyond Aid initiative, and making sure that deficits going forward continue to be financed by tax revenues, implementing the fiscal compact and following the criteria that has been set out is what's going to be needed, and so we look forward to the implementation of that.
Well, for us, it was a whole learning curve in terms of engaging these investors, those who matter in the finance and economic space, that they all met here at the annual IMF World Bank meetings. Till we meet again, this is George Uafe reporting for Joy Business.
And back home in Ghana, General Secretary of the Mine Workers Union, Prince William Ankra, is calling for 20% of all gold produced in Ghana to be refined before they are exported. He has been speaking with Joy Business.
For me, the danger is that mining receipt had helped many nations, Australia, United States, California precisely. The gold rush had helped a lot. Where are we going from where we are? We can't produce gold and sell in this raw state. Beneficiation. I bought this ring from Pressure Mineral Marketing Corporation. The recipe being that just a small corner business. You can imagine saying that 50% of our gold or 20% will go into beneficiation. We'll have gold chains and all the necklaces across the world. You can imagine the money it will bring into our strong economy. I mean, Dubai and all those nations that are making all the inroads had a kind of foresight. So we just got to make sure that the sector, beyond the fact that we produce raw gold, will go along with refine the gold here. That will create jobs, we get a byproduct here, and that will mean that our national cake will actually be enhanced.
So have you made any call to government to support in this regard? You
recall that in the course of the administration of the immediate past President John Mahama, he was in Davos when he made a point of beneficiation. We did support the cause instantly and said, look, would you want 20% of the gold to stay here for that purpose? What happened? It's fizzled out.
And that's all in business tonight on Joy News Prime. For more updates in business, log on to myjournal.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Have a good night.